New Human Rights Watch report accuses the US-led coalition of killing at least 84 civilians, including 30 children in Syria. The report cites 2 coalition airstrikes back in March, which hit a school and a market near the city of Raqqa. Human Rights Watch says the actual death toll is likely to be much higher, as bodies could still be buried under the rubble. The coalition claims it's still looking into the allegations. Raqqa used to be, of course, ISIL's de facto capital in Syria. In November, the US-backed forces launched an operation to rout the terror group. Now, let's discuss it with Jamal Wakim, who's a professor of history and international relations at the Lebanese University in Beirut. Welcome back to RT. These attacks are being investigated. What response from Washington do you expect, if any, to this?
Well, I believe that Washington lives in complete denial. It will deny any responsibility for the action, and it might blame it on false information that it received from its allies. But I believe that we will see more and more civilians killed by US troops in Syria or Iraq, especially at a time when the Americans had to intervene directly because they could no longer rely on their proxies in the region to curb down the successes achieved by the Syrian army and their allies. So that's why I believe that we will see more and more victims by the US in Syria.
Civilian casualties are a sad fact of any conflict like this. Is it ever possible to avoid them at all, though, really?
Well, of course, in such conflicts, it's a bit hard to avoid civilian casualties. But at the same time, when the whole American involvement in Syria is illegitimate, it's illegal because it was not sanctioned by the Syrian government the way it was for the Russian involvement in Syria to counter terrorism. So in this case, the whole American presence in Syria is illegitimate, and the whole actions can amount to crimes of war that could be sued or presented to the International Court of Justice. So that's why I believe that the Americans have to be blamed, and had we had, for example, an international law that is forced by an independent establishment, global establishment, we would have seen American soldiers sued in front of this tribunal.
Human Rights Watch says the coalition didn't send anyone to inspect the scene of the strike. What do you think that says about the quality of the coalition's assessment of these things? It is just batting it out of hand.
Well, I believe that this is intentional because they are aware of the crime they committed. They want to erase any evidence or fact. So that's why they wouldn't send any commission or allow any independent commission to go and investigate the matter. They will, if any accusation is raised by their opponents, they would only send a spokesman for the army that could claim at best that it was a mistake based on false information that they received from their allies, the way they did in previous incidents.
We'll keep an eye on responses to this. For now, though, Professor Wakim from the Lebanese University in Beirut, thanks very much for your time.